think it's going to be decided today, but you know, it's certainly a conversation worth having.
Do you think reparations are on, and it's not whether it's deserved, because it is.
Yes,
reparations are definitely owed.
Yes, they are.
Yes. And my position is they're owed. I'm not waiting for them. I believe that we can build our own system of success and wealth. And then when they come, we actually will put it into a foundation of success that's already here. We'll just add to it. But I'm not waiting, because the problem with waiting on somebody to do something that they're not inclined to do anyway is that, you know, you ever have a check that's owed to you that you think is coming? And some of us, you know, the check is coming.
Yeah.
And I gave this, you know, description. I was in publishing for a while. So you do a book deal and you get paid upon signing, upon delivery. And sometimes you spend money knowing that that check is coming upon, I just delivered.
Right.
So you go out and you spend money, and then the delivery check doesn't come for maybe a month. Now, those 4 weeks are crucial, because a lot of things can go wrong during a month period of time. So then by the time that check does come, it almost goes into a black hole, because now you're putting the money into what you betted on 4 weeks ago. Now it doesn't help you. You're actually like, oh, all of this money's gone now. I feel that way about reparations. While we wait for people to do the right thing, and we must force them to, eventually it's going to happen. Let's build together the world that we want to live in.
I think it's an apt comparison. You know, sometimes even people take out a payday advance. And, you know, from a kind of spiritual or cultural point of view, Black people have seemed to have done that. That is, that they have cashed a check that is yet to be redeemed or yet to even be issued. And I think we do that all of the time. But I think, however, people willing to take a risk, people willing to make a way out of no way, the kind of risk that we take spiritually, ethically, if you will, is also a sign of great confidence and a sign of great faith. So I think that there's more ways than one to look at it. I don't know how else we would get by unless we're willing to gamble our collective cultural, spiritual, ethical trust. But I think that we can do that more intelligently, and certainly can do it in a more institutional way. And that's really what we ought to be working toward, I think.
Okay. You said. All right. So you're here for a specific, not just talk about the blacklist, but before we get to why you're here, what's going to happen on Friday?
This is a good question. I can tell you that you will have the answer on Friday. And, you know, what goes past that episode, which features Harold Cooper. I'm excited about that. I feel like Eddie, you know, who was the first 5 Temptations? I feel like Paul Williams gets a chance to sing a lead.
Ooh.
So, you know, he was their choreographer and their kind of center, but this is kind of a chance to have the ball in my hands.
Good. Yeah. Can I just say publicly, I can't stand Elizabeth. I can't stand her. She's the dumbest FBI agent. I'm just going to say it. She has to be the dumbest FBI agent in the history of the FBI. Who allows themselves to be infiltrated so completely? She has no spidey senses. None. Like, I would have been very suspicious of the new woman that moved across the hall. And she damn sure ain't reading my baby no damn bedtime stories. What in the hell is... Come on.
Well, you know, it's interesting. We know something that even Cooper doesn't know. That is to say that this woman is purportedly Elizabeth King's mother. So it might be that she's going, that her spidey sense is saying, hey, you can trust this person because she's your mother. But I would also say, you know, this being
her mother that is treacherous as hell and left her.
We don't know what the circumstances were. That I don't think so.
Do you know?
No, hell no. They never tell me anything. I'm the last guy to know.
I don't believe you, Harry Lennix. All right, so I guess thank you. Thank you.
You know all the secrets over there. He just
cagey. I will tell you. You'll be the first to know.
All right. That's Harry Lennix. He's in the building. Also, Drew McCaskill's here. So tell me about this partnership that you're doing with Chicago Trend.
Chicago Trend, I understand that Lanier Richardson was in here. He's an original Chicago man from the West Side. I'm from the South Side. We make these distinctions, as you are with, you know, the various degrees of the African diaspora. But that said, my wife used to work for Lanier's brother at a black hedge fund. And Lanier was introduced by my wife. So it just goes to prove what Proverbs said, who can find a virtuous wife? Her value is far more than rubies, it says. So we are combined.
Harry Lennix steer clear of religion today. Just want to last time you were here, it didn't end well for you. So let's all scripture. Go ahead.
I will leave that out. I'm going to make this. This will be faith adjacent. But I'm very excited to announce that we are going to be creating a center for the performing arts, and I think it'll be unique. It'll be an institution that is the center for the collective contribution of Black people in the performing arts. And it'll be based on the South Side of Chicago, arguably the foundation of that movement. And I am extremely excited about it. We want to give a home to a lot of currently homeless but long-lasting cultural institutions in Chicago, Congo Square Theater Company and others, but they will be the anchor. And I'm extremely excited. We'll get underway starting on Thursday. Starting on Thursday? Yes. All right. So we'll be building it. So you're going to be there, you're going to go to Chicago and cut the ribbon, or what are you? This is actually, I don't think it'll be a groundbreaking thing because the building has been around since 1917. So I don't know that we'll have a groundbreaking, but we want the people to know what is coming in the next couple of years. Is that we'll have a great institution there. All right. So, and I want you to come back when it's open. Yes. Because Chicago right now is in the midst of a teacher strike. Yeah. I was one of those, by the way. But you taught in the Chicago school system? I certainly did. I taught for 8 years in the Chicago public school. What did you teach? I taught mostly music. But I think going better than me coming back there, why don't you come to Chicago and do a live broadcast? All right. I would love to. Can it be in the summertime? We'll make it so. I don't want to go to Chicago when it's cold, man, because people could do stuff to you, like what happened to Jussie Smollett. That's right. We don't want that. I'm sorry. That didn't happen? Okay. All right. So, I might get an itching for Subway, and then something could happen to me. I want to go when it's summer, because summer, let me tell you, Chicago in the summertime is one of the most beautiful cities in America. Yeah, and people don't even know that. I mean, people know, So, I will definitely take you up on that. Great. And I'll make you a sandwich. You won't have to go. You will make Subway. Me a sandwich. Okay. Because
it's something about -17 that make you hungry for Subway.
Drew.
You know what? I'm going to start my 30-day right now.
We ain't say anything. I'm just saying whatever I just said. Okay. Let me just thank you, too, Harry Lennix, for this, because I think it's super important. My mom, following the passing of Jessie Norman, who went to her high school, talked about the importance of the arts, and having to, everyone had to participate. And it opens your world in a way that, we might not have a Jessie Norman if Lucy Laney High School did not have a, chorus that then propelled her to do different things. And I think it's super important. I know I had to take up the clarinet, in the 5th grade, and my best friend Sonia did the trumpet, and I was jealous because I picked the clarinet because I was like, the trumpet, there was only one girl in the trumpet, it's like 3 trumpeters, and she's one of them. I was like, it only has 3 buttons too. And I got to learn all of these damn things, and there's a reed I got to buy. The trumpet's just like, boop, 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 boop. And I was like, man, I should have done that. But, it does expand your horizons. Now, I never pursued or went on to do anything with the clarinet, but it did open my mind and my heart. And I think removing arts from schools and things like that. So this is important. I think it is. I taught, as I was saying, music there. I actually have a couple of former students who are professional musicians now. What instrument? Well, I mean, it was in elementary school, so I taught mostly the recorder, but I taught the kids how to, read music and sing in harmonies and all of those things. I personally am, a fairly decent piano player and trumpet player and so forth. But I wish we could have played trumpet together in high school. So. But that said, we want to be able, instead of having to go to Juilliard, sending a kid out, we want to bring the people back. And we want to make Chicago the center that it should be. I've always regarded Chicago as the capital of Black America in many ways. If you think about it, for years, there were more Black millionaires in Chicago. During the Great Migration, Chicago tripled. It's the home of the blues, of course, really the kind of Delta Memphis
blues
might
that
fight
came up.
with you. Memphis might
fight. They may.
Memphis.
It certainly started there, but it took root in Chicago. And we had really a quite robust country there. We had the first Black mayor of great consequence in the great Harold Washington, but it has been really left bare. It's you can't go tonight and listen to jazz on the south side of Chicago and know that you're going to be safe and be able to listen to the best people in the world. You can't really go and have this equivalent of the Alvin Ailey School in Chicago, and that's a shame. That shouldn't be. But rather than complain about it, why don't we build it?
Yes.
And
we're not dependent on government. So I think government has its place.
Certainly it does, and they should contribute.
They should,
Yeah.
but we don't wait for them, is my point. And you're not waiting for them.
That's right.
Now, once you have it, you're in a position of power to hold people accountable better when you already have ground to stand on. I just believe negotiating from a position of power versus weakness is so... I think that's a no-brainer. I don't know why we don't argue that more. Let's negotiate from a position of power, not weakness.
I completely concur. I've never waited for anybody. You know, we can complain about the state of Hollywood and what white people won't allow us to do, or we can actually go and do something ourselves. You know, I've always taken great pride, not to get overly religious again, but you know that.
Wait, everyone's holding their breath. Hold
Operation Push started in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
That the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's Nation of Islam, which refused to be involved in American governance, demanded the freedom, justice, and equality and so forth, but did it themselves. They had their own newspaper. The Pullman Porters would distribute their own newspaper that the Chicago Defender was. So, you know, we can do it. We are the most entrepreneurial group of people. In fact, Black women, I think, are still the leading demographic of entrepreneurs in the United States, mostly web-based, but that's a fact. Black women are the most educated demographic of people in the United States. That's a fact. And so when we realize, not just try to establish, but when we recognize what we are already doing and have already done, then I think we are in a position of great strength. And that's what this is. That's what this institution and Lily and Marcy Center is meant to do. It's to look here at what you've already got and let's build from there, which I think is what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying. The Lily Marcy Theater. What exact address will it be?
Well, it'll be between 44, I think, 21 and 4451 South Cottage Grove. Basically on 44th and Cottage Grove.
Okay. Where did you grow up?
I grew up a little bit further east and a little bit further south in a place called South Shore.
Right off the water?
Right off the water. I went to school right off of the water. I used to swim in those toxic waters on the lakefront there with the salmonella, the whole thing. But now I remember it very fondly. It's a stone's throw from where I grew up, and that's my neighborhood, and I'm going home.
I love it. I love it. And Harry Lennix. And let me thank you publicly for Tawfiq coming through. He plays Dembe on the Blacklist. And amazing human being. Was a firefighter on 9/11. Served in our military with distinction. And now he's an actor, plays a brilliant character on the Blacklist. If you're not watching the Blacklist, it is one of the most multicultural casts too. You have everybody. Even though I miss my the woman from the Mossad,
Mojan Marno,
who
played Samar Navabi. She was great.
Is she coming back at all? No, because I know she's. Where did she go? Why did she leave?
I don't know. You know, I had just had.
You do know Harry Lennix. Stop telling us tales. I know you know.
Well, you know, sometimes contracts are up and people will have other things that they want to do. But, you know, I can also tell you that on the Blacklist we have degrees of death. Like, you know, dead isn't really dead.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
You can be dead or super dead.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Will there? Are you stick? Do you have? Is your contract up?
No.
Okay,
no,
just checking. Because I know your wife just disappeared. Like Valerie Pettiford was on the first season. Then that was his wife on the Blacklist, and then she had an affair on you, and then she's gone.
Yeah.
What happened to her?
That's what happens when you mess with
she's on she's on BET doing something. Anyway, and that's great. That's great because I love people working.
Yeah.
866-801-8255. Harry Lennix is here if you want to talk to him about the great things that he's doing. Of course, you can participate in the conversation. Drew McCaskill's got the numbers. That's right. I think that's the name of something. Drew McCaskill's got the numbers.
Oh, special segment.
I like that. We just came up with this is how stuff happens here on the show. There's no real planning. We just throw it out and then it feels right and you spurt and then
write it down so we don't forget it.
No, we won't forget it. Drew McCaskill's got the numbers, y'all. We're gonna go to the phones. 866-801-8255. I'm gonna head over to Delaware, which is a nice state. Let me get my thing. Thomas in Delaware, welcome. Awesome.
Hey, hey.
Sure. I don't disagree. Right.